So this is how I use Claude Design to create this animated intro, as you can see on the screen here. And I just want to quickly share how I did it because I think it's such a practical, useful use case that if you create any type of videos or animation, especially for educational content, it's really, really useful. This all came from a prompt. So all I did was provide my script, like my entire script of my video, and also the subtitles that's timestamped. All this was generated by Claude Code inside of Claude Design. So let me show you what it looks like. So the animation and graphics all sync directly to what I say inside of the video. So this saves me so much time in terms of like coming up with the animation and the intro. So how I did this was I just simply gave the instruction here in Claude Design. I'll just show you exactly. So I just provided the subtitle file, which is called the SRT. So what I usually do is I use Descript. So Descript is like an AI video editor that you could easily cut out the extra retakes or even like word gaps. So here I have like my talking head video. As you can see here, that's like my script. So what I normally do is I just import my file and come up here to AI tools, and I would just go to remove retakes, and that will remove all the extra retakes and only leave the best ones. And then I would just exit this, and then I could also do shorten word gaps. So let's say if there's like dead space in between your words or sentences, you could find those word gaps and then just shorten them automatically. So this saves you so much time in terms of cutting out the dead spaces. So that's what I normally do. And once I'm done with the video, I would just come up here and click on export and just go to the subtitles tab. And where it says format, subrip titles, which is the .srt file, you can just export it and then just click on save. And then you're going to have the subtitle file. And once you have the file, you can just paste it into the Claude Design chat. And here's what I said. Here's the SRT file. Before you start, I want to give you the color scheme. So I previously have used Claude Design to like design an intro. So I use that as like a reference. So you don't necessarily need that. You can use any reference. And then next, what I did was I just provided my reference of a past project that I created inside of here. And then I just said I like the overall how engaging it is. But in terms of the font and color scheme, I will have a different idea this time. And then I just included screenshots of the fonts and the color scheme that I want to incorporate into this intro. So this is a screenshot of my actual slides that I use in my video. So I just provided that to Claude Design. And then Claude Design is going to analyze the background, the primary text, the accent color, the type of font, and also I planned out the new intro. So here we see 0 seconds to 9.5 seconds. This is the plan all the way up to the 41 seconds because that's the total length of my intro. So everything was done automatically by Claude Design after I fed it that simple instructions. So when you scroll down here, we see more aesthetics information, and then it just started to build out the intro. And the whole generation took about 5 to 7 minutes, and this is the output. And I would say overall, it's actually came out pretty good, especially for the first draft, first generation. Although it's not perfect, as you can see here, I think this text is a little bit too small. And also I think there's like an overlapping of the text here in the beginning, right? In the workspace and the language. So let's make some adjustments, and making changes in here is really easy. I'll show you how it's done. We can just come here to the chat and then let's speak to it. So the design overall is pretty good, but I want to make some adjustments. In the first slide, in about the 5 seconds mark, there is a overlapping of the text between workspace and also the word language. So let's make sure that the text does not overlap. And then where it says the only difference, I feel like that text is a little bit too small. Let's make that bigger. Keep in mind that some people watching this video will be watching from their phones. So I want to make sure that all the text on screen is easily readable to them. And then where it says just the right foundation, let's eliminate that period. That's not needed. And also where it says by the end of this video, let's make that text a slightly bigger as well, because I think right now it's too small. And in terms of the pill button that says everything clicks, let's just totally eliminate that. I think that's extra. And in the last slide where it says, let's get into it, I also feel like that text is a little bit too small as well. And let's add some white space in between that line and the line that says everything a beginner needs to know. I think a little bit white space in between will make it more proportionate. So here we have the prompt. So we can just hit send. So that's why it's a lot easier to just like speak to it instead of typing, because you can speak so much faster. And the software that I use for this is called Whisperflow. I feel like it's the most accurate text-to-speech tool that I've used. And I'll just list out everything that I use down below in the description. And then you're going to see Claude Design is going to make all the necessary changes that we requested. And as you can see here, the overlapping is gone. And also the size of the text is also adjusted. So that's how easy it is to make adjustments inside of Claude Design. So what we need to do next is to actually export this file in a video format, like a .mp4 format. Because you'll notice if you come up here to share, currently there's no option to export as like .mp4 or any other video format. So what you can do is to just give the instruction to Claude Design here. Can you help me package this file so I can export it into Claude Code, where I can use Playwright or any other software and FFmpeg in order to export this file as a .mp4 file. So you can say that and then just hit send. And then you see the instructions here. So all you got to do is to just download this file. Click on download. Let me save the file. And then we could unzip it. Okay, so next we need to open up Visual Studio Code. That's what I like to use. So I can just come here to, let's say, open a new window. And let's come up here to the Explorer tab. Click on this, open folder. And let's find the folder that we just created and click on this folder. Click on open. Let's click on, yes, I trust the authors. Now, if you're confused about like the whole Visual Studio Code, let's say if you're brand new, you can check out my other videos that walk you through this setup. It's actually very straightforward, but if this is your first time using VS Code, it might appear to be really overwhelming. Definitely follow along, but if necessary, you can check out my other setup videos. So I already have Claude Code connected to my VS Code, but let's say if you don't have Claude Code created yet, you can just come here to click on the extension tab. Just search for Claude Code. And then it should be the first one here. You want to make sure that it's the official one directly from Anthropic. You can click on install, and then you will have Claude Code inside of your VS Code. So I already have this installed, so I can just click on this little Claude icon here in order to open the Claude chat. I can click on I trust this folder. And then here we have the Claude chat opened. So let's close out this extra window. Let's close this as well. And let's come back to the Explorer tab. So inside of Claude Code, I can just say, can you read the instructions inside of readme.md and help me export the video file in the format of .mp4? Let's send that in. And then Claude Code is going to read the instructions and then help you execute on the task. Let's click on yes. So we can give it permission. Click on yes again. And then it's going to install the necessary script in order to help you export the file as an MP4. And then you're going to see Chromium installed, now running the full render and encode build. So basically Claude Code is going to handle everything, and the process will take about 4 to 8 minutes. All right, now the export is complete. That took about 5 minutes or so. And as you can see here, the MP4 is at this directory. So we can come here to the out folder. Here we have the file. And we could preview it here, or we can just come to the file, right click, click on Reveal in Finder. And then we could click on this, and then we could play it. And this is our completed file. So this is how you can use Claude Design to create an engaging graphics and animation for your videos. And if this video was helpful, consider subscribing as I post often on Claude Code and Claude Cowork. Any questions, let me know in the comments below, and hope to see you in the next one.